Squid, probably. Squid and octopus. So that was actually freshly caught, that squid. In my second area, Mayo, I mentioned that there's a lot of fishermen. Almost everyone, if they're not a fisherman, they're like a carpenter. And we had a family we were teaching, and he would bring stuff back from the sea every afternoon, and sometimes he'd have us try it. And so he just, grilled up some squid, and we had that, and octopus too. It was fun. It was never anything too crazy, but yeah. And in my first area, same area, Brava, there's crazy mountains. And so sometimes to get up to your area, you have to just do these crazy hikes, like sheer rock face. And like a lot of the time when it was really misty, I'm like, I'm gonna die. Any second I'm gonna fall off this cliff and die. But it ended up being okay, like it's just super interesting. Like the climate and everything is so interesting, yeah. While I was on my mission, there's an island called Fogo, which is a volcano, essentially, and it erupted while I was there. So that was pretty cool. It wasn't, like, insane, like the whole world shook or whatever, but there was actually, like, the city most by it was completely wiped out, but people were evacuated, so nobody died, nobody was hurt, but there was a lot of, like, damage that was done, and that's the most fertile land where they, like, have all the mangoes and everything, so that took a toll a little bit, but that was pretty crazy. It gets really hot, like I said, beastly hot sometimes. And for tropical islands, you would think that it would rain more, but there was only one huge thunderstorm, like my whole mission. Like one day that like actually downpoured. And there were a couple other days, like in the summer, the late summer, my second summer, that it like would drizzle sometimes. There'd be like some thunder, lightning, but I'm like, dude, rain, like come on, because it's so hot. But yeah, I'd say like it was just crazy, like unreal. It rained less than it rains in Arizona, where I'm from. So I'm like, what kind of desert is this? It's crazy. But yeah. I feel like a lot of skills were like accentuated a lot. Like for example, like singing. So I've always been really into singing, but that was used like all the time on my mission, like everywhere. Like in every branch I would like be the chorister, or they'd ask me to sing something. So that helped a lot to keep it up. I was afraid that I'd lose some on the mission. And now I'm in a BYU choir, so that's cool. Another thing was working with children, like, especially in my second area, Mayo, the church was so new, just like a few months old when I got there, that it wasn't really fully organized yet. So the sisters, we helped teach primary, and it was just super fun. Like, I learned a lot about how the church treats primary, and which I never really knew before. It's been a while since I've been at primary, so that was another really cool thing. Another thing that I was able to work on and get better at is just talking with everyone and just learning everyone's story and loving people. That's something I was sort of raised to do. My mom always told me, everyone has a story and don't be afraid to talk to strangers, which is sort of unorthodox, but I've had so many enriching experiences because of that, and it helped me a lot on the mission. And as I was there, it's just like, it was amazing. Like, people just open up to you so much when you show that you care and that you want to know about them. So my first area I mentioned, there's only 4 sisters on that island, 'cause it's super small. And we were the only missionaries. And at one point, my trainer, she was what they call the sister training leader at the time. And the way the mission works is you take either a boat or a plane between islands, and Brava's so small that it doesn't have an airport. So you have to take a boat to Fogo and then a plane to Praia on the main island, and it takes like 2 days each way. And she would stay in Praia for like the monthly leadership council for like a day. And so whenever she needed to go to monthly leadership council, she was gone for like the whole week, and I'm just this greenie, and I'm like, what do I do? And every day I'd have to go on divisions with members, and it was super, super stressful. But I learned, I'm like, the Lord qualifies his servants. He helps us do hard things. And it wasn't the language that wasn't the problem. It was just like teaching in general, and just having to be a leader, because the members didn't really know how to be missionaries, and so I had to just take on the role of trainer, or just pretend I knew what I was doing. And I survived, luckily, and yeah, it was good. That faith brings miracles. That seems sort of self-explanatory, and we hear it a lot, but it's so true. The Lord doesn't give miracles out for free. He wants us to show that we really have faith in him. And time again, as we were contacting people in the street, or as we were just trying hard to listen to the Spirit, we saw crazy, amazing miracles happen. Don't doubt the Lord, and don't doubt yourself. A lot of missionaries can just feel so burdened and so inadequate a lot of the time that they're like, oh, I can't do this. But if you do that, then you're doubting the Lord too, because he called you. And just don't let that doubt get your faith down, because when you have faith, like, anything is possible. I swear. It's awesome. For not wanting to sound conceited, the language was the least of my problems. But I say that because the Lord just really, really blessed me. I feel like I know the gift of tongues is a real thing. And I think because I sort of grew up in hearing Spanish my whole life, and I also listened to the Portuguese Book of Mormon over the summer before I reported to the MTC, I didn't really have problems with the language. Okay, so I had problems with a lot of other stuff, and that's why I think the Lord gave me the language, and I dealt with other stuff. But I think I heard more English mistakes as done by people that don't speak English than Portuguese mistakes by people who don't speak Portuguese. So I had a Brazilian companion, my last companion, and she was trying so hard to learn English, so hard. And one day she had a cold, and she's like, "Sister, I need some toilet paper. My nurse is sick." My nurse is sick. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. There were things like that all the time, and just super funny. But you just got to take them in stride and correct them nicely, because then people get sort of annoyed. So